What happens to a superhero when he stops wanting to be human? Imagine waking up in a city of 8 million people and not a single soul knows your name. No friends, no family, no safety net. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is officially the day. After years of speculation, leaks, and waiting since the traumatic climax of No Way Home, Marvel Studios and Sony have finally delivered one of the most highly anticipated comic book movies of this era, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Now, going into the theater today, my biggest question wasn't just how does Peter Parker recover from everyone forgetting who he is? It was whether Destin Daniel Cretton could take a character who had grown into a cosmic, multiverse-hopping hero and pull him back down to the gritty streets of Manhattan. The short answer? This isn't just another Spider-Man movie. This is a psychological thriller, a detective story, and a grounded character study wrapped inside a high-octane blockbuster. Let's break down the good, the bad, and the brilliance in this spoiler-free full movie review of Spider-Man: Brand New Day. When the film opens, we are dropped straight into Peter Parker's world, and it feels remarkably quiet. The opening 20 minutes of Brand New Day do for Spider-Man what Matt Reeves did for the Batman. It's moody, atmospheric, and deeply uncomfortable in the best way possible. Peter is operating 24/7 as full-time Spider-Man. He has no Avengers budget, no Stark tech, no Doctor Strange safety net, and zero personal relationships. The spell worked. No one remembers Peter Parker exists. What makes the script by Chris McKenna, Eric Summers, and Justin Kuritsky so effective here is how they tackle Peter's isolation. Instead of brooding in a corner for 2 hours, Peter throws himself into crime fighting so hard that it physically and emotionally starts wearing him down. He's trying to suppress the human side of himself because feeling human hurts. Meanwhile, over in Boston at MIT, we catch up with MJ and Ned. They are living successful, happy lives, but there's this lingering feeling of a missing puzzle piece in their memories. Ned actually develops an app called the Spidey Tracker, trying to crowdsource sightings of Spider-Man in NYC, subconsciously trying to find that missing link. The emotional dynamic here isn't forced melodramatics. It's subtle, mature, and remarkably grounded. Now let's talk about the element everyone was talking about coming out of the theater, the dynamic between Peter Parker and Jon Bernthal's Frank Castle, the Punisher. If you were worried that bringing the Punisher into a PG-13 Spider-Man movie would soften Frank Castle, set those fears aside. While they toned down the gore compared to his solo series, they do not tone down his intensity or moral conflict. Frank Castle serves as this brutal, cynical mirror to Peter. Where Peter holds on to a strict no-kill rule, despite his spiraling anger, Frank is the end road of what happens when trauma completely consumes a hero. The back-and-forth banter between Tom Holland and Jon Bernthal is dynamic. It plays out like a gritty big brother/little brother dynamic, where neither agrees on how justice should be served. And then we have Sadie Sink. Marvel kept her role tightly under wraps during marketing, but her presence as Jean Grey completely alters the trajectory of the plot. Without giving away major story twists, Sadie Sink brings an incredible ethereal intensity to the screen. Her interactions with Peter hit heavy themes of feeling outcast, dangerous, and unable to control what's inside you. Her character arc pays off in a massive way during the third act. Director Destin Daniel Cretton, who previously brought us Shang-Chi, brings a whole new physical rhythm to Spider-Man. If you love the practical, kinetic feel of Sam Raimi's web swinging, or the fluid movement from the Insomniac PlayStation games, you are going to fall in love with the camera work in this film. The action is weightier. You feel every punch, every crash through a glass window, and every long fall onto asphalt. The CGI is polished, but more importantly, it's blended seamlessly with practical stunt work. There is a sequence in the second act, a tight quarters fight inside a cramped tenement hallway featuring Spider-Man and Punisher working together, that stands as one of the best choreographed action set pieces in MCU history. The lighting, the practical impacts, Michael Giacchino's haunting score, it all snaps together perfectly. Now, no review on this channel is complete without being completely transparent, and Brand New Day isn't entirely flawless. The middle portion of the second act suffers slightly under the weight of its own ambition. Because the film is balancing Peter's internal transformation, the street-level mob connections involving Michael Mando's Matt Gargan, the MIT subplot with MJ and Ned, and Sadie Sink's storyline, the pacing stumbles for about 15 to 20 minutes. A couple of supporting characters don't get quite as much room to breathe as you'd like, making a few plot transitions feel slightly rushed heading into the climax. It occasionally flirts with having too many villains, a trap Spider-Man movies have fallen into before. However, unlike past films where multiple storylines diluted the emotional core, Destin Daniel Cretton keeps Peter Parker grounded as the true anchor of the narrative. Every subplot eventually feeds back into Peter's growth. Let's talk about Tom Holland. We've watched Tom play Peter Parker for nearly a decade now. We saw him as the energetic kid in Civil War, the high school teenager in Homecoming, and the grieving hero in No Way Home. But in Brand New Day, Holland gives what is undeniably his finest performance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He captures the exhaustion, the quiet resilience, and the sheer burden of being Spider-Man with incredible depth. He isn't just playing a superhero anymore. He is playing a young adult trying to survive isolation and figure out who he is when the mask comes off. Spider-Man Brand New Day is a triumphant, mature, and thrilling next chapter for the character. It honors the legacy of what came before, while taking bold risks that pay off emotionally and visually. I'm giving Spider-Man Brand New Day a solid 8.8 out of 10. If you haven't booked your theater tickets yet, go see this on the biggest screen possible. The cinematography and IMAX audio mix are worth every penny. What did you guys think of the movie? Did it live up to your expectations? Which character interaction was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our breakdown of the post-credit scenes coming up next. Until next time, take care and stay safe.